What's going on, guys? It's me back from another video. So we have another Is It Worth It video, and this time it's over Battlefield 5, which is, I guess you could say, a new game. It came out November, I think, maybe December. I got it in December, but I don't remember exactly when it came out. And this was also a very interesting game to the community because everyone was either hating it, loving it, or a mix of both. So yeah, so to get straight into this, I want to start off with what people think about it. So there's the hardcore Battlefield gamers that, you know, enjoy Battlefield for what it was. It's like me in Call of Duty. I enjoyed the old Call of Duties and these new Battlefields. It's like, alright man, what are you doing? And that, I understand it. I understand where they're coming from, so I respect them. So there's that. I can't really have much of that because I'm not a hardcore Battlefield fan. I've only played from like 3 and up, so I'm just not a hardcore fan like some. So if you don't like the new Battlefield because you're a hardcore fan and you just don't enjoy what they're doing anymore, I can understand that. It was like me in Call of Duty with that. I just didn't enjoy the new Call of Duties because of what they were doing with it. So yeah, I could completely understand that. So if that's for you, then it's understandable why you don't like it. But there's also the people that are just hating on the game because everyone else is hating on the game. And it's questionable. I question it because not only have they not played the game, but they're only hating it because other people don't like it, which I don't see. I was one of that, honestly. I was like, oh, this game is it's not gonna be good. Then, you know, I played it, and, you know, I feel like to actually like be able to like hate a game, you actually have to give it a try, so you know it's like, hey, this isn't for me. If you just go off of what other people say to look cool or look relevant, then it's like, okay, why are you even talking? So a lot of people hate this game, and the main reason I'm seeing is because there's women in the game, and I understand that people are okay with it. And see, I'm fine with it. I genuinely do not care if there's women in your game. It's whatever. And I know people are like, it's not historically accurate, which, I mean, I can understand. And don't get me wrong, history is by far my favorite class in school, so it's obviously historically wrong, and I understand why people are getting mad at it. But I also don't get too much of it because, you know, it's a video game, and yeah. And don't get me wrong, women did have an important part of World War II. They were like the suppliers and they made everything for the soldiers, but, you know, people are mad because they're on the front lines. And yeah, I see that, but I'm not too terribly mad about it. I think it's whatever. The one thing I don't like is that with the trailer, there was that one girl that had the prosthetic arm, and that was just a little overkill. I didn't think it was necessary. It's like, I would have been fine if it was a girl, but why does she have a prosthetic arm like that? Like, that was just kind of overkill for World War II. So, yeah, I get that, but a lot of people are also mad. Like, they're not mad that, like, there's women in the game. They just don't like that the developers of it try to defend it and all of that and try and rewrite history, which I could get. I'm not going to go too far in that because it's a very your opinion based, and I honestly haven't read it. I think he was saying something about his daughter was like, why can't I be a girl in the game, and he wanted, yeah. So if that's the reason, I can understand that, because if the defender's trying, or the developer is trying to defend why there's women in the game for like a actual like good reason like that, then it's like, alright dude, you could have just said like, we wanted women in our game to be diverse. So, you know, that's why I can understand people getting mad for the developers at it. But me personally, I just got rid of all of it. I don't really care that's just women in the game. I'm pretty sure actually I changed to medic in this gameplay, and I'm actually a girl, and I genuinely do not care. Like, if you play the game, you do not care that you're a girl. It means absolutely nothing. It's like that with like World War II. World War II, I enjoyed the game for the most part, and you could be an African American girl that played for the Nazis, and I'm not trying to be offensive or any of that, but in World War II, you didn't see that at all. No, not even one person. Like for the Nazis, yeah. So I genuinely do not care that there's like women in your game, which is one of the main reasons why people don't like the game, which that's cool. I can understand that, but for my like vision of it, or, you know, the way I see it, I don't care I still enjoy the game personally, because for me this is kind of just like a chill, relaxed game. Just like sit back and play the game and enjoy it. It's not something to get too deep about, which is probably a majority of the players, because you know they're just trying to play a game, sit back and play it. And that's why I can understand the hardcore players why they're mad, and I totally understand. So you know, don't get me wrong at that, but for the casual laid-back players, this is probably where you're wanting to be. So for the game wise, I think the gameplay is fine. Like the weapon, like running and all of that, I think it's fine. They could easily fix a lot of things. I know a couple things that they got rid of from Battlefield 1 was that one thing that my one friend made very apparent that I didn't even know why he was complaining about. It's like the most weirdest thing is that now when you get killed, they don't outline the enemy, which I genuinely do not care. I didn't even know they did that, because that's such a subtle detail I don't notice. But he's also a hardcore Battlefield fan, you could say, and doesn't like the game for several reasons, but that's his. I just know that they didn't mark enemies out when you got killed by them, which it's like, okay, I don't care. It was pretty funny watching it. But yeah, for me, I think the guns are fine and all of that. The guns, you know, going back on the hardcore thing, that's not historically accurate. The guns may not be like from the exact time period, like that battle in that specific country, but for the most part, they're fine. They're guns from that time era, so I find it fine. The classes are as normal: assault, medic, and I think recon, and their support, which they all do their thing. Another thing they changed is that now I think without medic you have different classes, or like different amount of health. I think it's like Call of Duty, where you have to regen your health now, like Black Ops 4, how you have to physically heal yourself. It's like that now, where it used to be just wait for it to go, which people were mad about, but honestly, we saw the same thing with Black Ops 4. You'll eventually get over it. It's absolutely fine. Eventually, if you keep playing the game, it will come second nature, which, you know, if you don't like the game at first because of it, and you've only been playing it for like an hour or so, you actually just give it a couple of days and you'll be fine. It's nothing too big. The gameplay is fine. You know, you don't have to be the best, and you can still just enjoy the game like me. I'm nowhere near decent at this game. I'm actually quite trash, and I still find it enjoyable to play. So yeah. Now, one of the main things I wanted to talk about is optimization, and this is for mostly my PC players. Xbox and PS4, you guys should be fine, because you know it's a console. You can't really change it or run it fine. I think you get 30 frames, which, you know, that's cool, I guess. 30 frames is interesting. Know that not Black Ops, 60 frames is ideal, or more. Have you ever had 100 some frames? Oh, it's beautiful. But yeah, so consoles, this isn't really meant for you. This is for PC. So with PC, this game is a modern game, and it takes up, like, it's a powerful game. It's not like League of Legends or like CS that don't require too much computing power. It actually requires some, and as you can see from this gameplay, it looks fine, and I have my graphics dumbed down a lot, and I'm getting enough frames. I don't know how many, because it's now on Steam, so I don't have the the frame counter. So I'm getting a decent amount of frames. You could very easily tell frame drop places, like in big combat zones the frame drops, but it's whatever. Now me, I have I would say a decent computer. I would say a mid-tier computer maybe. I have a 1060 8 gig or 4 gig, one of those, maybe 6 gig, I don't remember, but a 1060 for sure. And the thing that really kills it for me, or kills the experience with the 1060, is I have an i5 4980K, which I don't even understand, because it's not even a 500K, it's a 4980K, which, if you know anything about processors, that's a pretty bad processor. I mean, like, it's decent, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing near what a computing, like, if you're doing anything, I would get like an i5 8300, or even the i3 8300 would be fine, but the i5 498K patched with a 1060, it's just not a great combination. So my computer could run the games, it just has a harder time getting frames, and I mostly have to turn all the settings down. Like on Fortnite, I have everything turned off except for I think view distance, which I have on medium, and I still only get hardly 90 frames, which, yeah, it's just my PC. But if you have a low-end PC, like you have like a 1050 and like an i3, this game may not run for you as well. Know that it should be fine. I've seen builds plenty of times before that are low tier that should work for you, but personally, if you're building a computer, first off, you should probably not pair a 1060 for 4980K. I didn't even know they made those personally. I was trying to find them everywhere online and I couldn't. And I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess. So it should be fine with your PC. If you have a low-end one, you just have to turn the settings down. But yeah, for me personally, it's not the greatest because my PC is the weirdest parts ever. Like, yeah, I just have to eventually upgrade it. And you know, if you have a high-end PC like an i9 and a 2080 Ti, you're gonna be fine. I'm pretty sure this was the game that the RTX ray tracking, whatever they call it, I forget. This is the game that they showed it off in, and don't get me wrong, it looks absolutely phenomenal. But if you have a low-end PC, just be ready to numb the settings down. And yeah, and as you see from this gameplay, when I have the settings turned down, the game still looks fine, which I like, because the game is a beautiful game. It's EA and DICE always make really nice looking games, graphic wise. Battlefield, Battlefront, they're all very nice looking games, which I really enjoy. And the optimization is great. Just if you have a low-end PC, you have to be ready to turn it down, but you should be fine. It'll look fine. So yeah, another thing that I have is that the Wi-Fi or something, you can see in the top right corner, it's been there the whole game. There's like a circle and like 3 windows. I have no idea what they mean, and I'm lazy to look it up, but I think it's my Wi-Fi and I lag around, and I could be wrong, I'm not sure. But if that's the thing, then you're probably gonna need good Wi-Fi, because I have good Wi-Fi and it's doing that. But I also have to look up on it and see what it is, so don't take that with a huge grain of salt. Like the whole like what would you call a pack of salt? Like the whole thing, a pack of salt, I guess. Take it with the whole jar of salt, because I don't know, you keep salt in a jar sometimes. I don't know, you get the point. Just, I'm not sure. So yeah, in total, the games, I personally enjoy it. I don't care about all the like misleading stuff, women in the game, not historically accurate. I think the gun gameplay is fine for me personally as a casual gamer. It's a fun game to get just to casually play with friends or something. But if, you know, as I said several times before, if you are a hardcore Battlefield gamer and you have multiple reasons why you don't like the game, personally, I would also like you to share them in the comments, because I'm really interested on knowing why you don't like the game for what it is, and it's just interesting to read about it. But from a casual gamer perspective, it's I would say it's definitely worth it just to pick it up. And I'm pretty sure it's not even $60 fully anymore. I think it's like 45 or something. So if you could get it like off, then it would be a great game to pick up, something to just play. I think it's personally one of the, I wouldn't say the better games of 2018, but you know, better than like Fallout 76, because Fallout 76 was probably the biggest crapshoot of 2018. So yeah, anyway, that's been the video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I will see you next time. Goodbye.